Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 6th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. And if you look closely, you can see some breaks starting to peek out here in some of this cloud cover. So don't let your guard down. If you're headed out towards Seafair today or any kind of outdoor activities across western Washington, you could be getting some sun breaks by this afternoon. No promises, but it's looking like that is definitely a possibility. And we'll take a look at what kind of thunderstorm activity we're going to have over the next few days. We've got some flooding concerns across some of the higher terrain in eastern Washington, Idaho, and Montana as well, which would include British Columbia. We've got a couple systems to deal with, including the one that's still spinning over the top of the region right now. Then we've got another frontal system rolling through here midweek, and then the potential for a heat wave off through the extended forecast. We'll take a look at those details here coming up in a minute. This is looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can clearly see the trough over Washington, Oregon, BC here, but then look at this out here. This jet stream starting to make its way across the Pacific Ocean is going to swing through British Columbia here and bring us another system here as we go through midweek, keeping things nice and seasonable here for at least the next few days before the potential warm-up starts to arrive. This is Spokane National Weather Service, and all the way through Monday here, keep your eyes on the sky. Check it out. 40 to 60% chance region-wide, including some of the Columbia Basin there. Nice graphic here from the National Weather Service Spokane issued yesterday afternoon. And checked out National Weather Service Portland talking about some pretty hot temperatures potentially coming up here. Take this with a grain of salt right now. It's August 6th now. That's still a week out. So we're just kind of watching this, but you can see there is even a chance for some pretty extreme heat to be coming in here, but we don't know how that ridge is going to set up just yet. That was issued this morning by the National Weather Service Portland. Check out Northeast Washington, Idaho, and Montana today. And this is the risk of 1 to 6 hour rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance at any given point. So they do talk about the Pacific Northwest here, but watch this for day 2. They've introduced slight here for Northeast Washington all the way down towards Spokane. So heads up across the Idaho Panhandle up into BC there for some heavy rainfall as this low pressure system kind of taking its sweet time here and spinning. Thunderstorm development with it. Potentially heavy rainfall as you can see. And if you want to save 10% off on a nice weather station, all solar powered wireless, great smartphone app on here as well. For example, it'll give you a notification when it starts raining at your house if you want. So I highly recommend this weather station. Very nice. And you can see all the other stations out there across much of the West here, and you can check out the entire world. Click on any individual station here, or you can keep it all private. Look at SeaTac yesterday. Really cooled down. A nice day out there. At least you didn't have to battle the sunshine too badly, but it didn't make for great photography action out there for the most part. But on the flip side of that, there was enough moisture in the atmosphere to put some nice visible vortex on the wings of the Blue Angels out there. I'll show you some of these pictures here in a moment. Check it out, though. We did get 200ths of an inch here, and we are going to bounce back to some of these temperatures today. Like I mentioned, there's potential for some sun breaks this afternoon. And now taking a look at the wider view of things here, we're going to check out this trough over us, the next system, and then the potential ridging coming here. So this is yesterday afternoon's European run. There goes the troughing, kind of still hanging out as we go through Monday. And then we bring the next system. You can see it arriving here through British Columbia, keep things seasonable here through midweek. And then we get the big troughing, start the digging out across western Alaska, the Aleutian Islands. And this big ridge is going to form somewhere here off the west coast of North America. If this tracks a little bit further east and the heat dome is right over us, you know what's going to happen here. We're going to warm up dramatically. If it stays further off to the west here, we're going to get some more of this troughing influence here and keep things a little bit more suppressed temperature wise. This is looking at Quilly. You can see the strong ridge arriving here, but in the meantime, we're going to be dealing with these seasonable heights here and seasonable temperatures, some precipitation chances across the region before that heat wave would get here. Take a look at those details here a bit more in a moment. Now taking a look here, you can see that troughing kind of hanging out here across Pacific Northwest, kicking out. Then the next system arrives here, keeping things cool. And then the potential for that ridge to start to develop. This is last night's European. The 060 goes out 144 hours. And we're starting to gain confidence here in this trough digging out and the ridge downstream from it. Here we are looking at composite reflectivity on the NAM3KM. This is for the day today. You can see some thunderstorm activity here across some of eastern Washington as you go through the afternoon hours. Nothing too crazy here. A little bit better chance Monday here as this low starts to pull away from the area. You can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere. And even some of the Columbia Basin here could be getting some thunderstorm activity. And you saw that threat for some extreme precipitation here, or some excessive precipitation, technically correct term there, across some of the higher terrain. But yeah, it's going to be interesting here on Monday Monday east of the Cascades, so heads up for that. This is looking at lightning flash density potential for today. You can see mainly lightning chances Cascades east, but you could kick off a thunderstorm across the Olympic Mountains here. And then as you go on in through Monday, we're going to redevelop that across some of the Cascades, Lake Chelan, if you're out and about there camping on the east slopes of the Cascades. Columbia Basin here, you can see that lightning potential across Monday afternoon. Blue Mountains will be included there as well before that system finally starts to kick out here as we go on in through Tuesday. Now looking at the European here, this is total precipitation, and this is the initial precipitation from the trough still over us. And you can see this is pretty unusual across the Columbia Basin to get measurable precip. But Monday morning into Monday early afternoon, we could pick up a few more hundredths of an inch here across some of the Puget Sound, the Washington coast, and then the arrival of that next system here, dropping all the way down across western Washington. European kind of bringing a sharp cutoff there across the northern Willamette Valley, but Seattle could pick up another tenth of an inch or so. Better precipitation amounts, of course, as you go up Vancouver Island and on into western British Columbia. This is looking at Moses Lake, Washington. The control run does have 0.3 of an inch here for tomorrow, so that's interesting. A very dry place during summertime, so that would be a very beneficial precip out there. Spokane, 0.5 inch. Check it out. Some of the ensemble runs with even higher amounts there. The mean right around 0.3 of an inch. Here we go for Portland. You can see things remaining seasonable here as we go through Wednesday, Thursday. Then the potential for that heat to arrive here as we go on into the following week. We'll watch that one closely, of course. We've been watching it for a few days now. This is Tillamook, Oregon. That heat could get all the way out to the coastlines of Washington, Oregon as well. This is Hoquiam, something similar there. Still just a fantasy forecast right now. Just keep it in the back of your mind. Here's Seattle Metro, something similar there as well. But you can see that system swinging through here midweek, keeping us down into the 70s. Very nice weather. Spokane Metro, the upper level low, keeping temperatures suppressed here. And again, the red line on these graphs here is the average temperature this time of year before that potential heat returns. This is Seattle Tacoma. The control run calling for about 1/10 of an inch as we go through. Mainly tomorrow morning was when a lot of this precip would be falling, and then maybe another 1/10 of an inch here. But you can see some of the ensemble runs have a little bit higher amounts here, so something to watch as we go on in through the mid portion of next week, probably starting on Wednesday morning there. This is Bellingham, and you can see some consolidation here with that second system moving in. This would be that upper level low over the area currently, and then that next frontal system, excuse me, there. That would be for August 9th, 24-hour totals there. 6 to 10 day. Now this is starting to include that potential heat wave along the west coast here. And you can see the above average potential for temperatures here all the way out through August 19th. And then we're going to shut down any precipitation. So enjoy it while it lasts here for the next few days, because it looks like we're going to go below average again here through mid portions of the month. And the 7-day significant fire potential actually looking pretty good here with this upper level low, kind of bringing that precipitation amounts here. So it looks like the lightning threat isn't overwhelming versus the amount of precip, because we're getting good precip amounts here through tomorrow, most likely, at least according to the models. And yeah, so this is a good thing. You know, we don't have any elevated or high risk, at least for the next few days at least. Now, this is something that the European does. They put this out every month. This is the El Nino plume. Once you get about 1.5, above 1.5, you're in strong El Nino territory. And as of July 1st, virtually all the ensembles, just a few, had things staying strong all the way in through January. But we're going to take a look. We've got new data here. What does August say? Actually, a little bit of an uptrend there. So yeah, virtually all the ensembles keep a strong El Nino going. Some of these bringing up towards, super or Godzilla El Nino conditions here as well. But, we're not going to be surprised by anything here. You watch this channel daily and you're going to be up to date on any kind of weather system coming in here. We'll watch this late summer, fall, and winter unfold day by day. We'll break things down, and we'll just kind of have to look back once we get on in towards next year at what this El Nino brought. And when we're in things as well, we'll probably see certain patterns emerging here across the North Pacific and how things affect us there in the Pacific Northwest. Are we going to be dealing with a very warm winter, fall, winter, and spring coming up here? Or are we going to be dealing with more reminiscent of El Nino neutral conditions here, because some of the temperatures across the planet, across the ocean areas, are quite warm. So that might influence some of the gradient and just how El Nino affects certain regions. So right now, things are still kind of up in the air, as always, when you're looking this far out in the forecast. But interesting signal here in the European. As you can see, this updated information comes out about, I think it came out yesterday. But yeah, and this is yesterday. So I want to go over Seafair a little bit more here. Some individual conditions here near Lake Washington. You can see we had some pretty good moisture content in the atmosphere, so it allowed this shock wave to be seen here. I captured this photo of jet number 5 here doing its low pass here at just about 98, 99% of the speed of sound. Pretty impressive sight there. Now you can see that this would be dealing with yesterday. If we look, we can see the relative humidity up around 60, 65% or so for Lake Washington. Let's see what it's going to do today. We're scrolling through this morning, and you can see it's kind of cloudy out there right now, and you can see the high relative humidities, but don't be fooled. Look, by the time you get towards 1, 2, and 3 o'clock, things drying out a bit here. 4 o'clock, the Blue Angels are going here. So moisture values are not going to be quite as high across the area. So it'd be interesting to see what that shock wave looks like when that jet does its pass today. So something interesting there. Now taking a look at the UW model here, you can see it pops off a thunderstorm across the Olympic Mountains here. This would be at about 3 and 4 o'clock here. The Blue Angels would be ongoing. Not expecting precipitation here across the Seattle Metro for Seafair there. Now taking a look here, this is the HER 3KM. Let's see what it shows. Here we go, about 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4. The Blue Angels are going, and you can see a thunderstorm over the Olympic Mountains there, but should be Cascades East and over the Olympics. Not expecting anything for the Seattle Metro there, so there's your Seafair forecast. Now checking out winds, you can see this is about 2 o'clock. Here's about 3 o'clock, just kind of light westerly winds. No big deal here. If you're out there boating across some of the Strait of Juan de Fuca, expect those stronger westerlies though as you go towards the afternoon and evening hours. So check it out. Some of these winds getting pretty darn strong here out over the open water. But if you're an experienced mariner, you know all about these Strait of Juan de Fuca winds during the afternoon hours that come up right against the shorelines of Whidbey Island. Now this is looking at total cloud cover percentage here. So this is about 9 o'clock this morning. And as we go through this afternoon, look at there's 12, 1, 2, 3. Blue Angels are going about that time, and you can see that the cloud cover has noticeably waned here as we go through the afternoon hours, at least according to the NAM 3KM. So we could be getting some sunshine here for Seafair across some of the Central Sound. Heads up for that. Don't forget to bring your hats and your sunscreen out there, because if everybody's remembering yesterday there when it was a nice cloud cover the entire day, that may not be true. And this morning with the cloud cover out there, maybe fooling some people into thinking it's going to be another cloudy day there across the region. So heads up for that potential for the sun peeking out there. And look at some of these temperatures here as well. As we go into the afternoon hours, you see things warm up towards the upper 70s here, maybe towards 80 degrees here across the Central Sound as well. And now check out the European. It's a little bit more excited about just what kind of warmth is going to be coming this afternoon. There's about 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Blue Angels are going, and we're into the lower 80s here according to the European model here. This is valid for today, and check it out. So yeah, don't let your guard down here. It might not be, it's not going to be as cool as it was yesterday, and probably not as many clouds as well. So just a heads up for that. Nice little detailed Seafair forecast for you. But anyway, yeah, this upper level low, another few days. Then we're going to bring that system there through midweek. Then we're going to build that big trough out over the Pacific and potentially bring that ridge here across the Pacific Northwest. And again, we'll break this down day by day. We'll check it out again tomorrow. Check back on my Twitter or my X page or whatever they're calling it these days here for some Blue Angel shots today. And yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.